Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to start Zero Carbon City International Forum 2023, Part 2, 13th IGES High-Level Seminar on Sustainable Cities. As an opening, I would like to ask Mr. Ono Hiroshi, Vice Minister for Global Environment Affairs, Minister of Environment of Japan, to make our opening remarks. So, Mr. Ono, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Kataoka-san, for your kind introduction. Mr. Gwen Min Kwon, Chair of the ASEAN Working Group on Environmentally Sustainable Cities, distinguished guests and participants, good morning and good afternoon. The second part of the forum is co-organized with ASEAN Working Group on Environmentally Sustainable Cities as the 13th high-level seminar on sustainable cities. Today's seminar sheds light on two main topics: city-to-city collaboration and multiple co-benefits. The first one is city-to-city collaboration as a way to enhance urban sustainability. In addressing urban challenges, collaboration between cities with similar local contexts and environmental conditions can be quite effective. The Ministry of the Environment of Japan provides financial support to the city-to-city collaboration program for 10 years, through which 20 Japanese cities have developed partnership with 45 cities and regions around the world. Building upon experiences and lessons learned from the city-to-city collaboration program, the Ministry of the Environment of Japan and JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, in partnership with other key stakeholders, have launched a Clean Cities Partnership Program last month. The program aims to provide a comprehensive and synergetic support for target cities by mobilizing technical and financial resources of Ministry of the Environment Japan and JICA with the engagement of multi-level stakeholders. For example, this program can support projects identified by city-to-city collaboration, making use of various financing tools, including joint crediting mechanisms and ODA. The second topic is synergizing multiple co-benefits of net zero, circular, and nature-positive economies. Global material production accounts for 23% of the total greenhouse gases emissions, so that achieving circular economy is key for greenhouse gas reduction. Because cities are a major destination of material consumption and increased competition is seen over critical minerals, enhanced resource circularity is essential for sustaining urban economy. To this end, many cities are taking actions towards circular economy, including the replacement of fossil-based products with biomass-based ones, and the development of comprehensive recycling systems. Likewise, transition to nature-positive economies is estimated to produce business opportunities of $10 trillion per year and 400 million jobs by 2030. Greening cities also attract residents, tourists, and capital investment. Advanced actions are sought in urban areas, such as the development of green spaces mindful of biodiversity. By learning such advanced practices of multiple co-benefit approaches from various cities in different countries, I expect that today's event will provide an excellent opportunity to replicate and further expand urban initiatives in the region. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Vice Minister Ono, for your remarks. Then I would like to ask Mr. Nguyen Min Kong, Chair of the ASEAN Working Group for Environment Sustainable Cities, and the Deputy Director of the Domestic Waste Management Division, Pollution Control Department of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment of Vietnam. So the Kong-san, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, Mr. Ono Hiroshi, Vice Minister of Global Environmental Affairs, Japan Ministry of Environment. Distinguished delegates and participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the ASEAN Working Group on Environmentally Sustainable Cities, I would like to warmly welcome all distinguished delegates representing ASEAN member states, ASEAN cities, delegates from Japan and other East Asia countries, local governments, dialogue partners of the ASEAN, NGOs, and all of you, participants and guests attending the 13th IGES High-Level Seminar on Sustainable Cities. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the Ministry of Environment of Japan and the ASEAN Secretariat for organizing this important high-level seminar in concurrence with the Zero Carbon Cities International Forum 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, cities in ASEAN countries are in varying stages of development. However, to some extent, they are dealing with similar environmental challenges, such as air pollution from industry and vehicles, absence or shortage of storage and drainage infrastructure, and inadequate solid waste management facilities. These challenges often are aggravated by rapid industrialization and urbanization, resulting in ever-increasing demand for water and energy, as well as the solid waste management infrastructure. To tackle those challenges and improve their environmental performance, the ASEAN Working Group on Environmentally Sustainable Cities, AWGESC in short, has been set up, tasked by the ASEAN senior officials on environment to develop strategy, action plan, to drive the initiative, and to implement the various programs in the regions and the ASEAN cities. Many programs has been developed to cooperate with the dialogue partners to help ASEAN cities to become clean, green, and livable. Ladies and gentlemen, the high-level seminar on sustainable cities is an initiative under the ASEAN Working Group on Environmentally Sustainable Cities, supported by the government of Japan. Since 2010, the high-level seminars on sustainable cities is organized annually as a platform for the East and Southeast Asia policymakers, experts, and practitioners working to make cities green, and sustainable. 12 previous seminars has been successfully organized and provided good opportunity for participants to share and promote their latest idea, initiatives on sustainable city development, facilitate collaboration between cities, between ASEAN and dialogue partners, and among the countries in the East Asia. The 13th IGES high-level seminar focuses on sharing good practices, promoting city-to-city cooperation in combating marine debris and strengthening the urban climate resilience. This event is a good opportunity for delegates and participants from ASEAN member states, partners, NGO, to brainstorm, to share the common objective, and initiate cooperation plan and actions to help vulnerable cities in the region to cope with their environmental problems and climate change, contributing to the implementations of the SDG 11. Due to limited time and certain circumstances, we gather today at the 13 sections of the high-level seminar in virtual platform, and we do not have chance to shake hands with our colleagues and friends or enjoying the face-to-face discussion and debates. However, I believe with the spirit of friendship and constructions, mutual responsibility and ambitions, the high-level seminar will be productive and successful, making further steps toward the strengthened cooperation to address the marine debris issues and to achieve ambitious goals for clean, climate resilient, and zero carbon cities in the future. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to express high appreciations to the government of Japan for the continued support to ASEAN member states. I also like to express sincere thanks to respective dialogue partners, donors, NGO, local governments of the cities, and participants from ASEAN member states for their cooperation and support. I wish the 13th high-level seminar of the success, and I wish you all good health and success. I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kuhn, for your very encouraging remarks at the beginning of this seminar. Thank you so much. So now I move on to the keynote speech and presentations. So I would like to introduce the first speaker of the keynote speech is Ms. Uematsu Akemi, Director of the Carbon Neutrality Promotion Department of Environment of Sakai City.
Thank you very much. I am Uematsu, Director of the Carbon Neutrality Promotion Department, Environmental Bureau, City of Sakai. Thank you very much for giving me this precious opportunity to address you today. I will introduce Sakai City's city-to-city collaboration aimed at the realization of a decarbonized society and sustainable development of cities. Today, let me introduce an overview of Sakai City, its decarbonization policy, and the city-to-city collaboration for decarbonization. First, the overview of Sakai City. Sakai is the second largest city in Osaka Prefecture of the Kansai region. It is home to the Minboku Imperial Tumulus, which is one of the world's largest tombs, inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage List. Sakai was the center of trade between Japan and Southeast Asia in the 1500s. Even today, as you can see in this photo here, the city continues to interact with the ASEAN countries in various fields, especially in the cultural aspect. Sakai is also one of Japan's leading industrial cities, with a concentration of companies with outstanding environmental and decarbonization technologies. The waterfront area is home to one of Japan's largest liquid hydrogen production plants, making it a major energy center that supplies approximately 70% of the energy needs of the Kansai region. Next, Sakai City's decarbonization policy. Sakai City has formulated the Sakai Environmental Strategy as its long-term environmental vision for 2050. With the 4 C's as keywords, including carbon neutral, Sakai aims to become an environmentally advanced city centered on achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. Next, Sakai City's greenhouse gas reduction targets. Currently, greenhouse gas emissions in total are 5.83 million tons, with the industrial sector accounting for about 46%. Sakai City is unique in that the industrial sector accounts for a high percentage of the city's emissions due to the presence of industrial zones on the waterfront. The amount of greenhouse gas emissions has been decreasing year after year due to various reduction measures. In order to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, our goal is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 50% or more from the fiscal 2013 level by 2030, and we believe that further measures will be necessary in the future. Here, some examples of efforts to achieve decarbonization. Sakai City is implementing various initiatives such as promoting the spread of net zero energy houses, supporting the introduction of energy-saving equipment to factories, and using recycled sewage water as heat. In April 2022, one of Sakai's cities and projects was selected as a decarbonization leading area, a model area for decarbonization in Japan. The project aims to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030 by promoting zero energy buildings and zero energy towns in the city center and new town areas where there is a high concentration of residential buildings. Next, let me introduce some of the initiatives for city-to-city collaboration for decarbonization. Our Sakai environment strategy includes a commitment to promote international city-to-city collaboration in the environmental field. We're promoting city-to-city collaboration that will lead to sustainable development in both Sakai and ASEAN cities by leveraging our experience in pollution control and decarbonization initiatives and the advanced decarbonization technologies of the companies involved. This slide shows our past achievements in the international exchange and collaboration in the environmental field. Sorry for the busy slide. We have been working with various cities, including city and sister and friendship cities, on environmental exchange and partnership. And in particular, this city-to-city collaboration project with Ba Ria Vung Tau province in Vietnam from 2022. This is part of the city-to-city collaboration program for Zero Carbon Society of the Japanese Ministry of the Environment. Sakai City conducted the survey in 2021 and selected Ba Ria Vung Tau province as a candidate city for collaboration for 3 reasons. First, the province has a port which serves as an international logistics hub with a concentration of manufacturing and other industries. This means similarity with Sakai. Second, the development and expansion of the industrial park has led to the need for environmental pollution countermeasures and the shift to sustainable industries. Third, the industrial park is home to a large number of Japanese companies, making it easy to introduce Japanese decarbonization technologies. These are the 3 reasons. In April 2022, the 2 cities agreed to hold an online exchange of views and prepare for city-to-city collaboration for decarbonization. This project involves collaboration activities and the feasibility study for JCM formation in 3 areas of decarbonization, circular economy, and smart cities. More specifically, for decarbonization, the project will study the introduction of renewable energy and energy-saving equipment to industrial parks. For circular economy, it will study the utilization of waste power generation. And for smart city, it will study the formation of smart industrial parks. Currently, Sakai City and Ba Ria Vung Tau province are in discussion to conclude a memorandum of understanding, or MOU, in the field of decarbonization and related environmental areas. About the implementation structure of the project with Bariau province, in order to promote this project, we are building a system of collaboration with the companies in the city that possess a variety of environmental technologies. We'll continue to expand the number of those companies with which we collaborate, and by linking their high-quality decarbonization technologies to JCM, we hope to contribute to the realization of carbon neutrality and global environmental issues. That concludes my presentation. Sorry for the blurred images during my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Uematsu, for your presentations. It's great to hear that, the journey for the zero carbon society in Sakai, and also the good collaboration with the Bariau Bunton, Vietnam. Thank you very much again. And next, I would like to introduce Dr. Baldu Hisham Kashem, Chief Executive for Iskandar Regional Development Authority. So, Mr. Baldu, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Kataoka-san. And good afternoon to all our Japanese partners and all foreign participants from all over the world. My name is Badrul, and I'm the Chief Executive of the Iskandar Regional Development Authority here in Malaysia. And I would like to introduce Iskandar, Malaysia, a region that is fast moving towards becoming a strong metropolis of international standard. Iskandar, Malaysia has been a fast-growing economic development corridor since its establishment in 2006. Our location is at the southern end of the Malaysian peninsula next to Singapore. And Iskandar, Malaysia has been recognized in the CDP Global Ranking Cities A-list in 2019 and 2020, and most recently in 2022. Based on our efforts with various counterparts and the aspects of leadership and transparency on climate change and climate action plans. As Iskandar, Malaysia aspires to be a strong metropolis of international standing, we maintain strong collaboration at international levels. For instance, Iskandar, Malaysia has been a GCOM member, Global Covenant of Mayors for Climate and Energy, since 2017, in order to actively exchange climate action experiences with all its alliances from different parts of the world. Also, we are aiming to become a plastic waste-free city with partnership with ICLEI and also with Alliance to End Plastic Waste. Iskandar, Malaysia continues to maintain strong ties and friendship with Japan. Currently, we are actively working together with the cities of Toyama and Kitakyushu in various fields, as well as learning the best practice from them in order to build a sustainable future. And apart from Japanese cities, other collaboration partners around the world include the United Kingdom Foreign and Commonwealth Office, the West Midland Combined Authority in the UK, and the United States Trade and Development Agency. Iskandar, Malaysia collaborates closely with its Japanese counterparts, as evidenced in recent accomplishments such as the launch of a new ecology center a few weeks ago in Johor Bahru, which is one of the 5 local authorities in our region. It was an outcome of a collaboration with Kyoto City that dates back to 2018. We also worked together with the city of Toyama by installing the first floating micro hydro hybrid device in Asia in Tanjung Piai National Park, also in our region, for educational and technological transfer purposes. Another completed city collaboration is the rollout of the BERMS template building energy monitoring and reporting system, which was the result of collaboration and experience gained from the Tokyo Metropolitan Government. Ladies and gentlemen, we recently concluded a 3-year feasibility study with Toyama City despite the pandemic outbreak. This project was able to be delivered within both sides' strong commitment and cooperation. We thank you to the Ministry of the Environment, Japan, for funding the study. The expected outcome of this study was to propose appropriate decarbonization technologies, a dual diesel fuel kit, and to determine the feasibility of using biofuel from the source of palm oil mill effluent as an alternative fuel for powering transportation and other sectors. The challenges and readiness on the ground were identified also in the study. On the collaboration with Kitakyushu City, there is an ongoing 5-year study that began in the year 2020, where the expected outcome of this collaboration is a transfer of expertise, experience, and know-how already practiced in Kitakyushu in the circular model in developing the eco-park, or more specifically, the industrial symbiosis model, as well as renewable energy utilization based on the Kitakyushu model. We anticipate seeing the results in the coming years. For strengthening our collaboration, we strongly welcome Ministry of Environment Japan and Toyama City to further work together with us in introducing decarbonization technologies in green mobility and electrical vehicle ecosystem through the introduction of battery as a service. We also wish to benchmark a zero carbon model area according to the Toyama model in Iskandar, Malaysia's future flagship area that we call Flagship F, tentatively, or any other suitable area. We hope to have more clean energy collaboration in Iskandar, Malaysia, towards our pledge of 70% emission intensity reduction by the year 2030 as compared to the base year of 2010. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Iskandar Malaysia's new climate action plan for 2030, which focuses on 3 main thrusts: green economy, green environment, and green community, as well as 9 mitigation and 5 adaptation measures. Last but not least, we at Iskandar Malaysia are committed and looking forward to have more close collaboration with our Japanese counterparts. And with this opportunity, I welcome the Japan side to consider our new potential collaboration area in Toyama and Kitakyushu. There are initiatives to promote decarbonization technologies in green mobility, the introduction of zero carbon models in the new flagship, clean energy applications, and continuous efforts by Kitakyushu and pilot projects for industries, biosis, and renewable energy models in the commercial sector. Ladies and gentlemen, Iskandar Malaysia aims to meet the international benchmark standard, and we intend to roll out the use of comprehensive assessment system for built environment efficiency, CASP, Iskandar, a customized green assessment tool originating from Japan to serve as guidance in green building compliance in Iskandar Malaysia by phases, with Johor Bahru City Council serving as the pilot. Thank you, Institute for Global Environmental Strategies, IGES, and the Institute of Built Environment and Carbon Neutral for SDG, IBEC, for facilitating this collaboration since 2016. Iskandar Malaysia is full of opportunities, and we welcome more future collaboration and investment from Japan, and the efforts of all stakeholders contributed to Iskandar Malaysia's target to reduce our greenhouse gases intensity and demonstrates our commitment to Malaysia's goal of achieving net zero nation status by 2050. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Chief Executive Baldusan. Thank you so much. It's very encouraging that Iskandar Malaysia has been leading the zero carbon kind of the low carbon development, and then toward the zero carbon development in Asia, and then that, and also thank you very much for introducing the good collaboration with Japanese cities. Thank you so much. So then, this is kind of end of keynote speech. Thank you very much for two speakers. Then I would like to move to the next, part, that the report of the SDG Frontrunner Cities program, second phase. So I would like to, this program is a kind of sister program with the high-level seminar on sustainable cities. So now I would like to introduce my colleague, Sean Teo, Program Manager of Sustainable Cities, IGES. So Sean, floor is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, honorable participants of the 13th high-level seminar on sustainable cities. Thank you to Kataoka-san for giving us this opportunity today to give you a very short report on the current status of the ASEAN SDGs Front Runner Cities program, of which IGES is the implementing agency in cooperation with ASEAN member states and the ASEAN Secretariat. So, as mentioned by Ms. Kataoka just now, this initiative is very closely related to the high-level seminar because it actually originated as the practical outcomes from the first high-level seminar. And this initiative was first launched as ASEAN ESC Model Cities at the second high-level seminar under with the support of Japan ASEAN Integration Fund, JIFE, and under the ASEAN Environment Ministers and ASEAN Working Group on ESC. The objective is to support bottom-up and innovative actions to realize a sustainable, green, clean, and low-carbon ASEAN. This is actually inspired by the city-targeted programs of Japan, such as Eco Model City, Future City, and SDG Future City. And in our last phase, in 2018, this program was upgraded to be aligned with the SDGs. The phase 1 was completed with the participation of 24 ASEAN cities from 2018 and 2020. This just shows you the total 56 cities which directly received support from this program. We are most active in 8 ASEAN member states, and many cities of different profiles and sizes participated. So for the last phase, we very much focused on raising awareness and increasing knowledge of the key stakeholders on the SDGs. Therefore, we organized national SDGs workshops, and from there, we produced city, national, and regional level reports on the SDGs and cities. And not only that, of course, we have supported many innovative and first mover innovations at the city level, and they can be roughly categorized as community-led sustainable waste management in line with the 3 Rs, and many innovative actions to rethink and reduce unnecessary single-use plastics, actions to regenerate urban green spaces, as well as MRV, the measuring, reporting, and verification of air quality and greenhouse gas emissions in model cities. Through all of these activities, we supported the networking and the essential capacity building of the key stakeholders, including the youths, the citizen leaders, and all grassroots actors. One of the proud achievements from this program last phase is that Shah Alam city of Malaysia, which is a very famous low carbon city in Malaysia, was among the first in ASEAN to develop a voluntary local review, VLR, and present it to the UN High-Level Forum on the SDGs in July 2021. And not only that, in the last phase, we have developed 2 regional showcase videos and 10 city showcase videos, which was featured on the JIFE website. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to what's new in the second phase for this program. First of all, we have 2 major core themes for this phase. One is based on tackling land-based plastic marine debris. In order to solve this global crisis, it is important to recognize that most of the plastic marine debris originate upstream from cities. Therefore, we need to continue to promote the behavior change and better waste management at the local level based on the principles of 3 Rs and circular economy. And secondly, of course, is to expand actions for urban resilience. And this includes expanding to food and water security, circular economy, community empowerment, and economic sustainability. So COVID has definitely made the policymakers and local communities value the importance of local sufficiency, sustainability, and resiliency. And this topic will become more and more important as we also tackle the pollution issues. So for this phase, we continue with 3 major activities. One is policy exchange on the most, let's say, emerging challenges and highlighting the latest research regarding the 2 themes to the policymakers. Secondly, we of course continue to provide grants to implement innovative pilot projects to the participating cities. And thirdly, we want to continue to be the platform to promote and disseminate inspiring, replicable good practices and policies among the stakeholders. We will be implementing this phase for 2 years. And we just organized the first regional inception workshop last month, 2 months ago in Malaysia, in Seberang Perai City of Penang. And at the inception workshop, we heard the proposed project action plans by 12 participating cities, of which 7 are new cities to this network. So they are Kep City and Kampot from Cambodia, Banda Aceh and Surakarta or Solo in Indonesia, Sai District of Lau PDR, Seberang Perai City and Pulau Redang in Malaysia, Yangon in Myanmar, Paranaque City in Philippines, Creek Municipality and Sen Suc Municipality in Thailand, and Ninh Binh City in Vietnam. So I just want to briefly go through and show you some pictures of the inception workshop. We were very pleased to have welcome remarks from Plan Malaysia, from Mr. Nguyen Minh Kuong, Chair of AWGSC, and also Mr. Inada Yoshiaki, who is the first Secretary of Mission of Japan to ASEAN, as well as Mr. Kuyama, who is the Director of IGES Bangkok. So the keynote and the plenary sessions reflected the 2 core themes and the topics. For example, national coastal zone vulnerability and land use planning for national food production areas, and also environmental perspective of Nusantara, Asia's new green city from Indonesia. And finally, good practices from the frontrunner city of Malaysia, Seberang Perai City. And for the second day, we had technical site visits to learn about 2 models of community-based good practices on solid waste management. This is the first community, and this is the second one. So I would like to conclude my presentation by going back to the motto of the program, which is from islands of excellence to a sea of change. We believe that all of us should continue working hard to aim to support the top 15% of the front-runner cities in ASEAN and the region, who will lead the way to create the future, which is already here, but not yet evenly distributed to the rest of society. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Please keep in touch with us via our website and social media.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your the introduction of the second phase of the SDG frontline cities, also the legacy of the first phase. So I hope the program will going well and then contribute to the sustainable urban development of the ASEAN cities. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you.
Then I would like to move on to the thematic session. So session 1 is title is Synergy with the Circular Economy. So the session focus on the climate and the circular economy synergies. So this session will moderate by the Pre Kumara Jagas di Kuela Kamalalake, maybe in short, Kumara-san. So my colleague of IGES CCETD directors. So I would like to pass on to the MC role and moderator role to the Kumara-san. So Kumara-san, floor is yours.
So thank you very much, Kataoka-san, for the introduction. So I hope you can hear me. So I'm Kumara from IGES. So I'm very happy to be part of this session, the synergies between the circular economy and zero carbon societies. So I think we have a very good speakers lined up to sharing their thoughts and ideas with us. So this session is very important because we feel like at the moment everybody we know that we are in the triple planetary crisis, so climate, nature, and pollution. So we had to think about in more holistic manner the answers to address these issues rather than in separately thinking about these things. So in that case, the sustainable consumption and production and circular economy is very important subject, I think, when we're looking at all these issues in a manner. So moving the current practice of a linear society, so we had to think about more on the circular societies. So it is very important to address the unsustainable production and the consumption. So it is very clear the data from the International Resource Panel, they always mention us. It is how we need to be address these issues in a more integrated manner. So in this session, so we will looking at few questions to address these issues at the city level. This is also very important because most of our urbanization and the economic systems is happening at the city levels. How cities can take actions on addressing these issues. So we will discuss some kind of questions in this session. So what actions that the cities can be taken to strengthen the synergies between the climate mitigation and the circular economy. And we're also looking at the policies and real practical actions what the cities are taken to address this and their experience and lessons learned. And also we will looking at a little bit about the plastic waste and the municipal waste management, because recently we know that in consideration the importance of plastic pollution and marine litter. So we have taken like a UNEA 5 to have like a plastic global plastic treaty, and most of our governments are now working on making this treaty. So that way we will looking at how our cities today join are addressing some of these issues. So in very briefly, so I try to give brief introduction on the session. So what I'm trying to do is, so we have both the presentation and some videos from recording also from some participants. So giving the chance to all the speakers, and then if time allows, so I will take a couple of questions from the audience. So I'm very happy if you have any questions, so please put them on the chat box or the question and answer sessions. So when we have time after the presentation, so I will take some of them with our speakers. So then, without not taking much time, let me invite our first speaker today. So Mr. Iwasaki Takanobu, Deputy Director for Planning, Sustainable Material Management Division, Bureau of Environment, Tokyo Metropolitan Government. So Mr. Iwasaki will tell us about the story of Tokyo zero emission strategies and plastic reduction policies. So Iwasaki-sama, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon from Tokyo. I'm Taka from Tokyo Metropolitan Government. I'm very happy to share our activities for decarbonization, mainly on sustainable use of plastics. Moreover, I'm really excited today because I can share the stories about how to build decarbonized society from Asian cities. Firstly, I would like to talk about our policy framework on decarbonization, and secondly, I will briefly share some activities about plastics. Next, please. According to the UNEP's report on 2019, about half of the world's total greenhouse gas emissions comes from production of food and other materials. This fact is really matter for us. But for us, as a city level, how can we get to know our CO2 emissions from food and materials? Next, please. Oh, okay. In order to proceed this idea, we introduced the concept of consumption-based emission into our strategy. A city's consumption-based emission is the total GHG emissions from the supply chain of the various products and resources consumed in the city. In Tokyo, of course, a large amount of greenhouse gases are emitted from the consumption of energy, such as electricity, gas, and automobile fuel. But on the other hand, there are no cement kilns or steel blast furnaces that emit large amounts of CO2. Therefore, we associated policies for sustainable resource use with the contribution to CBE reduction outside the region as our own responsibilities of big consumer city Tokyo, which have or can have the significant impact on energy and material use in Japan. To this end, we are now promoting the use of low carbon materials in construction works, reduction food waste, and efforts towards sustainable use of plastics. Next, please. According to our estimation, the quantity of Tokyo's consumption-based CO2 emission in 2015 is 214 million tons. It is roughly 3 times larger than production-based conventional Scope 1 and 2 emissions. As you can see in the left side, about 70% of Tokyo's CBE is emitted outside of Tokyo, including import-related emissions. So we recognize that we need to decarbonize our products and material use. Next, let me briefly explain our policy on plastics. Next, please. In order to set a clear target for sustainable plastics use, Tokyo introduced the concept of carbon closed cycle. Plastic is mainly made of carbon. In order to prevent this carbon from being released into the atmosphere, it is first necessary to significantly reduce single-use plastics by prevention and reuse. On the other hand, it is almost impossible to completely abolish the plastic packaging because plastics are useful to prevent food loss and waste. So we also need to develop closed-loop recycling technologies that returns end-of-life plastic products to resin, hopefully equivalent to virgin. Next, please. In order to build up system for carbon closed cycle of plastic use, we need 2 types of innovation. One is for business models, and another is for recycling system, as shown in this slide. So we started Circular Innovation Project. Next, please. In order to realize 2 types innovations, Tokyo has collaborated with various companies. Since 2021, we have launched a project for circular innovations, and we are now promoting various new business schemes. Here, I pick up 3 projects out of total 9 projects. These 3 projects are promoting reuse programs, which will be the alternative of single-use plastics. Loop is a global platform for reuse. In Tokyo, residents can choose products such as laundry detergent and soft drinks when they enjoy shopping in supermarkets and shopping malls. Additionally, now group conducts small-scale tests for B2B model, which provide bulky items for office supply. D&Go is a new service provided by collaboration by two Japanese companies. They provide reusable cups for takeouts from cafes and convenience stores, such as Starbucks and Lawson. And we also collaborating with startup company Kaman, which provides reusable containers for takeout and delivery food. This service, called Meguru, sharing reusable containers for restaurants, have started from a small area of local town. After the good experience of local area, they are now trying to introduce this service into big city Tokyo. We understand that these projects are still small trial yet. However, we have to nurture these reuse businesses to be the mainstream of the sustainable way of plastic use in Tokyo. Next, please. As an Asian megacity, Tokyo would like to collaborate with Asian cities in order to create decarbonized Asia and reach net zero CO2 emission world by 2050. Thank you for your kind attention.
So thank you very much, Taka-san, for the presentation, and very nice to see you after some times. It's really nice to see how you take action to look at the emission from both the production and the consumption. I think this is very important when we're looking at the reduction of the consumption pattern also is very important, and also the innovative actions that to address the plastic pollution from the business and the recycling perspective. So it's good to hear Tokyo experience. I hope our participants have many questions for you later. So I hope you will be waiting with us. So then let me go to the second speaker, Dr. Auvila Putri, Sub-Head of Environmental Management Agency, Padang City. So Padang City is very familiar for IGES, so we are very happy that Padang City joined this meeting. So Ibu Arvila will present Padang's municipal waste management. So floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Prema Kumara.
Okay.
Okay. So, then next. So I'm going to talk about the profile of Padang first. Actually, Padang is located in West Sumatra. We have 19 islands, 5 big rivers, and 16 small rivers. So we have area for 694.96 kilometers square, with actually a lot of it oceans, and we have 11 districts and 104 sub-districts. So the total population is around 1,900,000 inhabitants. Next. So for the waste management in Padang, we have the responsibility for each level, even it's in society or even though in government. So you can see that we have the government responsibility. In this case, is Environmental Protection Agency. Such as providing temporary disposal sites or container. We have also providing final disposal landfill, and you can read all of this. And all of the responsibility is based on the Constitution number 18, year 2008, government regulation, and we have also local regulation and mayor regulation. Next. Okay, next. Actually, in Padang, we try to manage the garbage. For example, here we time to put garbage in the container is from 5 p.m. till 5 a.m. So from the container, after packaging and sorting and processing, some waste goes to the waste bank and taken by the rickshaw. That's for the economical one. But for the non-economical value of garbage is taken to the container and then go to the landfill. So we try to do this kind of management in order to make the city is already clean in the morning. Next. This our waste characteristic. Actually, the total garbage is what I write there is around 550 until 600 tons per day is one that is goes to the landfill itself. So and the characteristic is more almost 70% is organic. So you can see the food, leaves and paper and textile. Almost 70% is organic. Next. Actually, we also have the action plan for integrated solid waste management in Padang. So actually, we the regulation said we have to do the reduction and also the handling. So the reduction is enhanced waste separation to achieve a 30% waste reduction at source. Then action plan number 2 is increase organic waste reduction to 10%. And number 3, increase unorganic waste recycling and recovery to 20%. And number 4, reduce unmatched waste to 10%. And number 5, enhance institutional capacity for better SWM with the focus on monitoring and evaluation. The next. So we also have the funding to do the handling of waste, handling of garbage by the RDF technology. But now it is still on the plan, not exist yet. So we already have the feasibility study with the RDF. So this kind of technology make it possible to the garbage can replace the coal function as the fuel for the cement factory. So now, inshallah, the RDF plant will be built in this year and will be operated in 20 and 24. Next. And for the marine plastic waste program, actually, we do things in order to prevent plastic waste goes into the ocean. So what we already did is we make the garbage trap. We also it is located in 10 locations already put there, and we hope that it can prevent the waste goes to the ocean. Then we also already have the floating cube at Banda Bakali. And this year we have a plan to add another 2 floating cube. And it will be placed in Batang Arau River and Lubuk Galung sub-district. It's kind of small river in Lubuk Galung. Next. And for the marine waste, what we also already did is plastic waste caught by the fishermen goes to the fishermen bring the plastic they caught to the waste bank. So this waste bank is also cooperate with the some of the institutions, so it can be changed to the gold saving in the pound shop. And the program we are also have, but not implemented yet. The program from the Ministry of Marine, Maritime Affairs and Fisheries is the waste caught by the fishermen will be reimbursed for the lowest fish price per kilo of waste caught. Okay, next. I think for the garbage management and the marine waste issues in Padang, that's all for us, for me to share with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibu Awila, for sharing the experience of Padang City. So it's happy to see like you have a waste management, integrated waste management plan with the targets and to reduce waste to be landfill from the reduce, reuse, and recycle system. So I am happy to hear more on the question and answer session. So
thank you, sir.
So then let me invite. I think our third presentation going to be a video. So Mr. Ahmad Sabri bin Muhammad Sarudin, Director of Urban Service, Seberang Perai City Council, have a video recording. So let me ask my colleagues to share the video.
Very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Ahmad Zabri Muhammad Sarujudin. I'm the Director of Urban Services Department of Seberang Perai City Council. First of all, I would like to thank IGES, IURC, and also Japanese and US government for inviting Seberang Perai to be part of Zero Carbon City International Forum 2023. It's been a great honor for us to participate in this event. So for today, I would like to talk about our initiative, Seberang Perai initiative in terms of becoming zero carbon city. Seberang Perai has set a vision to become a resilient, inclusive, green, competitive and technology-driven smart city with a mission to provide urban service, development planning and infrastructure efficiency effectively and responsive to the needs of the community in Seberang Perai. In order for us to achieve both vision and mission, Seberang Perai has set targets of becoming a carbon neutral city by 2030 and also to become a zero carbon city by 2050. Currently, our emissions is approximately about 6 ton per capita of carbon dioxide, and for our sequestration rate is approximately around 4 tons per capita per year. So we really need to find a way for us to reduce another 2 tons per capita in order for us to become a carbon neutral city or zero carbon city. With that, ladies and gentlemen, today I've been asked to talk about the synergies with the circular economy in terms for us to become zero carbon city. Seberang Perai, we have set a circular economy roadmap which we have launched in 2020. And we also have identified certain action plans which have been launched on 2021. We have set a target to achieve 70% of recycling rate by 2022, 75% recycling rate by 2025, and also 80% recycling rate by 2030. And furthermore, we also have set to be a zero waste city by 2030, which will enable us to have renewable energy from waste sector, approximately around 30%, and also food waste diversion around 90%. Ladies and gentlemen, in order for us to realize the dreams in becoming a zero waste city in terms of circular economy, there are two parts that are very important for us to be focused on. The first part is in our landfill, which stated in Pulau Burung, and the second part is in our transfer station, which stated in Ampan Jaja, that is within the central district of Seberang Perai. Ladies and gentlemen, in Pulau Burung sanitary landfill, we want to transform an ordinary sanitary landfill into an integrated waste management facility. The vision is to transit to circular economy for waste management and building a thriving local industry for waste reuse, repair, remanufacturing and regeneration, with the outcome towards zero waste disposal at landfill by 2030, achieving 80% waste recycling rate by 2030, fostering practice of segregating waste and storing recyclable at source by household and trade premises for collection by 2025, aligning waste management towards Seberang Perai decarbonisation aspiration and realising the vision of carbon neutrality by 2030 and zero carbon city by 2050. What we are proposing in terms of improving our solid waste management system is in the terms of waste processing and treatment center, which located in Ampan Jaja transfer station. This project, previously Ampan Jaja was used as a transfer station to transfer around 650 tons of domestic waste from northern and central district to our Pulau Burung sanitary landfill, which stated in southern part of Seberang Perai. And in order for us to improve further on our waste management system, we are looking to have a material recovery facility, anaerobic digestion plant, and CND waste facility in Banjaja transfer station. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, in Pulau Burung, currently we are in the process for us to develop a document for us to have a request for proposal, and also for us to be able to transform our Pulau Burung sanitary landfill into an integrated solid waste management facility, which will enable us to have MRF, anaerobic digester, secured landfill, incinerator, and also any sorts of technology that will help us to reduce further use of landfill. We have calculated the cost for us to have an integrated waste management facility is about 500 million for the capex, and also the ROI for this project is approximately around 15 years. So we are quite confident that this is a viable project, and we are looking for right partners for us to pursue. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about proposed integrated waste management facility in Pulau Burung, the capacity today is around 1,500 tons per day. And we are looking for a few characteristics in that facility like I mentioned earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Moving forward, for Ampan Jaja transfer station, like you can see on the diagram, this is what we have visionized for Ampan Jaja, which will have an anaerobic digester, MRF, liquid treatment plant, buyback center, and also CND bulk waste facility. Like what you can see on our flowchart, the recovery rate for Ampan Jaja project is roughly around 90%, which means that only 10% will be sent to Pulau Burung landfill. And according to the timeline, this project will be commissioned on 2025 and also have the full capacity on 2027. And then this project, in terms of concession, will end on 2040. That will give us roughly around 20 years for this project. Ladies and gentlemen, besides having a mega project, we are also looking for upcycling, which transform all of our recyclable waste into a new product. Like what you can see in Seberang Prime, we have the very first upcycle park in Malaysia, which we are very proud of. And also, we are looking for a lot more collaboration with our local partners to have a public exhibition to enhance the usage and also the information on upcycle. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everyone again for this opportunity. If you have any question, I'm willing to accept. I'm sorry that I'm not here, but you can send me via email any question that you would like to ask, and my team will answer it for you. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
So actually, it is sad that we couldn't have Mr. Ahmad to have this presentation. So as he mentioned, if you have any questions, so please let us know. So we will forward to him and try to get answers to you. And it's looked like the city has taken a lot of good initiatives to move towards the circular economy from the traditional waste management practices. So it's quite good experience. So please let us know if you have any comments or then questions. So we will coordinate that. So, and then let me go to our next speaker, Dr. No Thi Lan Pong, Officer, Hanoi Urban Environment Company, to share the waste management in Hanoi City. So, Dr. No, the floor is yours. I don't know I'm pronouncing this correctly.
Yes, it's correct. Thank you. Hello, can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, so may I set screen? May I confirm my screen appear? Well,
yes, it's appeared and we can hear you clearly.
Yes, thank you. So it's my hello everyone. It's my honor to representative for Vietnam to raise our voice in this workshop, and I will introduce about the municipal solid waste in Hanoi City, the capital of Vietnam, with some effort moving to the circular economy and climate change adaptation. And this is my content of my presentation. And as you know, Hanoi City is the capital of Vietnam, and is one of the 17 biggest capital in the world, and it with more than 8 million population and more than 3,000 square kilometers. And under the pressure of urbanization and industrialization in recent years, the municipal solid waste amount increased sharply. And let me brief introduce about the current status of municipal solid waste in Hanoi. And as you can see, parallelly with the population increase from in recent 10 years, so the waste growth rate generation about 5 to 10% a year. And in 2021, we received more than 6,000 tons a day at the landfill. And also the average waste generation is about 0.74 kilogram per person a day, and it also increased year by year. And in Hanoi, we have a fact that we before and after the separate the recyclable, we have different weight amount, generated weight amount. For example, before separator, we in the core district of Hanoi City, it will be 1.23 kilogram per person a day, but after separate, it's only 0.98 kilogram per person a day. So it's also quite different between the urban and rural. In urban, waste generation rate is higher than in rural area. And this is the composition of municipal solid waste in Hanoi. So the main portion is the organic and food waste. It's about 62 to 78%. And the second is the recyclable is about 15 to 25%. Among that is 8 to 13% is plastic. And regarding the plastic portion, as you can see, is very high in some source like a school or restaurant. In school is more than 58%, and in restaurant is nearly 30%. And special in at the landfill at our research, we still collect nearly 20% of the plastic at the landfill. And also in waste composition, still have some hazardous waste. It's less than 0.2%. And currently, the bulky waste, mainly illegal dumping along the street, and because it cannot collect by the normal truck. About the characteristic of the municipal solid waste, it's a very high moisture content, and also the calorific value is the rank from 1,000 to 2,000 kilocalorie per kilogram. With this feature, it's quite difficult to apply the incinerator treatment technology. And currently, in Hanoi, we only receive waste at the landfill. Before the July 2022, we still receive 98.5% of the landfill, and after we put in operation one incinerator with copper with capacity about 4,000 tons a day, but now it's just a partly operate, and it will reduce the landfill rate. And expected, we have a forecast to the waste volume 2030. So in 2030. We will generate about 10,000 tons a day of municipal solid waste. So facing with this difficulty, we also point out. Hello. We also point out some difficulty because of from now about the food waste. We have a very high proportion. But very valuable if we classify well to make compost, biogas, or animal feed. However, now this waste also sent to the landfill. And about the recyclable waste, now is only in charge of the waste picker or young buyer. It is not a formal system, and we still and cause still many environmental pollution in the suburban area. And beside some difficulty and obstacle, we also have some movement toward the circular economy in recent year. And at the central level, we already enact the environmental protection law in the January 2022 with the aim to implement source separation as such and increase the recycling rate, reducing landfill rate to mitigate the greenhouse gas emission. Also, we issue the scheme for circular economy development in Vietnam with the specific target of reducing greenhouse gas emission by per GDP at least 15% by 2030 and aim to zero by 2050. And we have another circular or degree under the law and under this scheme to realize our target to the circular economy. In Hanoi, we already issued the master plan for solid waste management from 2014 with a vision 2015. In this master plan, we also specify we should apply the replacement of the technology for landfill to and we will cut the landfill rate 80% to 2030. So with this aim, we had some practice in Hanoi from 2006 until now. So under the JICA project, we already implement the TRIA project in 4 wards in Hanoi. But after this, the project, the TRIA initiative could not implement well because of some reason. And the main reason is the awareness of the people at that time is not quite high. And recently, under of the scheme of the EPR scheme or we under the effect of the new environmental law, we already implement the sorting recyclable in some pilot district with the cooperation with the environmental company, the women union, some education entity, the company, and also the support from some NGO and volunteer group. And in the rural area, we are sorting the food and organic waste, and we have the on-site composting. And we already from 50 to 70 of total waste sent to the landfill. And recently, we already issued the scheme for sorting at salt, and we already tried to propose to the Hanoi People Committee 5 groups. It will be the recyclable food waste, hazardous waste, bulky waste, and the remaining waste. And we parallelly with this scheme, we will apply the waste
I'm sorry
volume.
to disturb you. Can you summarize, because time is getting.
Okay. So how many minutes I have? Sorry.
So you already finished your available minutes. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So this is some brief introduction about the Hanoi waste management and some movement to the circular economy and greenhouse gas mitigation. Thank you for listening.
So thank you very much, Dr. Neo, for sharing the Hanoi experience. So it's nice to see how you move forward in improving waste management towards the circular economy. So I can understand there are a lot of challenges. Also, the people's awareness raising and informing the communities. So thanks for sharing your experience. So I think we still have one presentation. It's also a video recording. It's Clara Zimmerman, Climate Change Division from U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. So,
Hello, my name is Clara Zimmerman, and I'll be presenting a brief overview of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Landfill Methane Outreach Program, or LMOP. LMOP is a voluntary partnership program that works with states, cities, energy users and utilities, project developers, and others involved in the landfill gas industry. The program's mission is to work cooperatively with industry and public waste officials to reduce or avoid methane emissions from landfills by encouraging the recovery and beneficial use of biogas generated from organic municipal solid waste. Since the program's inception, LMOP has assisted over 700 landfill gas energy projects, which have cumulatively reduced and avoided more than 600 million metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. This is equivalent to the carbon dioxide emissions from use of nearly 1.4 billion barrels of oil. In the United States, municipal solid waste landfills are the third largest source of anthropogenic methane emissions. Landfill gas contains other pollutants of concern as well. But landfill methane can be captured and used as an energy resource for electricity, renewable natural gas, vehicle fuel, or other uses. The methane from just 1 million tons of waste can generate about 780 kilowatts of electricity. There are many benefits of using landfill gas depending on the project type and the end user. Landfill gas is a local, consistent source of renewable energy. Landfill gas energy projects provide local economic benefit, whether from job creation, end user fuel cost savings, or city revenue. Local air emissions can also be improved by reduction in landfill-related odors, or in case of vehicle fuel production, less fossil fuel-based emissions. There are about 1,500 landfills disposing of municipal solid waste currently in the United States, as well as approximately 3,200 landfills that have closed since 1980. Both active and closed landfills are generating methane. Larger landfills are regulated by EPA under the Clean Air Act. Those that meet certain size and emissions thresholds must install a gas collection system and destroy the landfill gas, which includes the methane portion. Many sites just combust their landfill gas in a flare, but hundreds of sites have used equipment to capture and use the energy. As of February 2023, about 480 landfills have an operating landfill gas energy project. Thanks to the combined benefits noted on the previous slides, landfill gas contributes to the circular economy in cities and municipalities. One example is the St. Landry Parish Solid Waste Disposal District in Louisiana, which began using landfill gas in 2012 to create 250 gallons of gasoline equivalent per day of compressed natural gas for 10 pickup trucks and 6 other municipal vehicles. The parish's vehicles were converted to use compressed natural gas sourced from landfill gas instead of fossil fuel. The parish and the community benefited from these vehicles running on a cleaner fuel source. In addition, the private waste collection company operating there agreed to use the compressed natural gas for their collection vehicles, closing this waste to fuel loop. LMOP worked with St. Landry for many years prior and during this process to discuss options for their landfill gas usage and later to help them find interested project developers. Thank you so much for your interest in our program and for the opportunity to present. We hope you'll visit our website. There are a lot of great tools and resources that cities can use for free, such as our landfill energy cost model and benefits calculator and technical and outreach publications that you can visit there. Also, please feel free to contact us with any questions at lmop@epa.gov.
So it's also a recording, so we miss Miss Clara, so in the presentation, but I think it is very important information. So we have only 4 minutes, so let me ask all 3 speakers to switch on their videos and ask a last question. So give any 1 minute comments about what is the most important, you feel what is most important thing we need to consider making synergies between circular economy and zero carbon societies based on your experience. So can I ask all our speakers, Taka-san and Ibu and Dr. Nia, to switch on your videos before we're going to close this meeting. So Taka-san, you have 1 minute to give a last words. What do you think most important when making synergies between the climate change and the circular economy?
Thank you very much, Kumara-san, today's opportunity for me. I think that the synergy is also important for Tokyo, but not synergy. We think that inevitable to combine the climate change and the circular economy, because we think that the prerequisite that 2050 CO2 net zero emission is a prerequisite for us. So we have to, and inevitably, we proceed the circular economy to get to the net zero society by 2050. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So how about Ibu? So you have 1 minute to say anything you want to say about what is the most important for you when synergies making between circular economy and zero carbon society in Padang City?
Well, I think what the most important thing is to Padang City is how we can arrange, how can we change the mindset of the people to at least separate the garbage. Because we already went to Bali and actually almost all in Indonesia that 70% of garbage is organic waste. So if we can manage this kind of garbage, make it become a compost, at least it can be a new income for the society. But Bali needs 5 years to do this. How to change the mindset? Then we are going to do the same with Bali. That's what we need from now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So how about Dr. Nu? So what do you think about Hanoi?
Yes, similar to the Indonesia, the Padang city, Hanoi city also have the same waste composition and some the characteristic like a high moisture, low heat value. So for us to apply some modern technology like incinerator or biomass gasification is quite difficult. But however, as I introduced, we already now implement the source separation from the nationwide level because it's promulgated in the law. However, it takes time. I think at least 10 years for the whole city to successful in this program. However, the day by day, we should the pilot area, and we should involve the participation of the many counterparts, especially firstly the resident, and the second is the enterprise, and some another extended responsibility to support the government to realize this target. So I think this is the big campaign for the whole country, whole Vietnam, and I hope that the PAN and the UNEP or other organizations in the world can provide us some technical support and also collaborate with some successful city in the world to support our city to implement this target. Thank you.
Thank you very much again for all three of our speakers. So you sharing your experience and very good thoughts. So I think this is very helpful. And also this session also the networking among the cities. I hope you can also learn each other joining this meeting, and we will keep in touch. So thank you very much again for joining with us today. So let me hand over the session to the organizers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, thank you very much, Kimura-san, and all speakers for your great inputs and then the sharing knowledge with your activities. Thank you so much again. So I would like to move on the next session. So next session, as the synergy was nature positive economy. So thank you very much for the speakers waiting for us. And then now I would like to pass this microphone to the Miss Ingrid Cortes, the Director of the Biodiversity, Nature and Health, ICLEI, Africa Secretariat, and Global Cities Biodiversity Center. So Miss Ingrid, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And I hope you can all see my screen. I'm just trying to get it to, there you are. Can everybody see the screen? Thank you. So good afternoon to everybody. My name is Ingrid Kutsia, and it's my great pleasure to be the moderator of the session this afternoon. I'm the Director of Biodiversity, Nature and Health at ICLEI in the Global Cities Biodiversity Center. And this topic is something that is very dear to my heart and also very important in the biodiversity space globally. I've been asked to say a few words by way of introduction before I introduce the rest of the panel. And I hope that you can see that the slides have moved on. So really just the main thing is that biodiversity is essential to all life. It underpins our economies. It provides important, what we call nature's contributions to people. These are services, and you can see in the diagram there that these are services that provide life-supporting systems. It also provides food, health, medicines for health, flood control, flood pollution measures, etc. And the current reality is that our life as we know it on this planet, and our planet is under threat. The UN Secretary General has made some very stark statements about humanity being at war with nature, and that we need to make peace, and that this must be a top priority for everybody. So the science is very clear. We've reached the universal tipping points, both from the perspective of climate as well as from perspective of nature and loss of biodiversity and ecosystems. And you can see in those statistics up there that the picture does not look good. And so what does it mean to move to a nature-positive economy? It's really interesting to see that over the past few years, there's been growing global recognition that climate and biodiversity are two sides of the same coin. So on the one hand, climate change is a major driver of biodiversity loss. But on the other hand, the destructions of our ecosystems undermine nature's ability to regulate greenhouse gas emissions, to regulate heat island effects, and all of this exacerbates extreme weather patterns. And there's a realization that we need, if we want to transition to a net zero position and really tackle climate change, we're going to have to invest a lot more heavily into nature and to forge a new type of economy, one that is nature positive as well as being net zero. And there have been several major initiatives around the world which shows that governments are recognizing this. For example, there's the High Ambition Coalition that was announced last year. There's the G7's nature commitments. There's the Leadership Pledge. I can mention many, many more. But in a nutshell, when we say move towards a nature-positive economy, what we mean is that by 2030, we must have much more nature than now we do have today. And we need to get this through improvements in the health, in the abundance, the diversity, integrity, as well as resilience of our species, the populations of species and ecosystems. And this is a very tall order. So how will we achieve this? Well, there are numerous thoughts and positions about this, but I think the most important one is to have ambitious global climate and biodiversity targets, as we've seen coming out of the recent COPs. For example, net zero emissions by 2050, and these need to be halved by 2030 from the UNFCCC COP. And from the biodiversity, the COP held last year, living in harmony with nature by 2050, and to restore and protect 30% of our lands and oceans by 2030. And we don't have much time. We also need science-based indicators. We need transformative action. And importantly, we need to develop new economic models that are based on circularity, restoration, and not the overconsumption and pollution of our planet. And finally, we need to work together. Government, business, investors, and cities must all adopt nature-positive targets and policies. What came out of the biodiversity COP was a roadmap in many respects to finding a nature-positive economy and nature-positive development. And there are several targets that speak to this. I've highlighted a few on this slide, and I'm not going to go to them into detail. But the fact remains is that it talks to pollution, it talks to minimizing the impact of climate change, it talks to restoring and maintaining nature's contributions to people. So before I hand over to my first speaker, I just want to quickly outline that we have several presentations today. We have a great friend of mine, Dr. Lena Chan, who is the Senior Director of International Biodiversity Conservation Division at the National Parks Board in Singapore. And Lena Chan is a real icon in the biodiversity space, and she's going to talk about the Singapore Index on Cities Biodiversity. And after that, we will have Mr. Maeda Masahiro. He's from Hanan City. He will talk to the work that his city is doing in creating co-benefits of nature conservation and climate change mitigation, the two sides of the coin that we were talking about just now, followed by the mayor of Prick Municipality, Mr. Surya Yikun, who's going to talk about the work his city is doing in using flood solutions and nature-based solutions. And finally, a colleague of mine, Kelly Day, who's Program Officer in ICLEI East Asia, will talk about the work that's being done in Kunming. I hope we will have time left at the end to have some questions and answers afterwards. So for now, I'm going to hand over to Lena, please. Thank you.
Hi, I'm going to share screen now. I hope this works.
Yep. It's coming up.
Yep. Okay, from beginning. And there was some other thing that I had to do.
Yes, you have to. You have to go to the bottom.
Yeah, and from beginning.
And Lena, you must just put it into presentation mode.
Yes, and swap. Okay.
Great. Thanks, Lena.
Okay. Thank you, Ingrid, for introducing. And thank you very much for inviting me to this very important forum. I'm going to talk about nature positive economy and the link with the Singapore Index on Cities Biodiversity. We are embedded in nature. There is no way we can get away from it. So nature underpins our economy. Therefore, for long-term sustainability, we must work on the principle of nature positive economy. Nature encompasses all existing systems on Earth, and Ingrid has shown a very good, graphic to show the linkages, while biodiversity are the living components, including plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, etc. So how do we conserve biodiversity and achieve the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework so that we can benefit from the ecosystem services provided by it? I'm going to share with you what we are doing in Singapore as an example of how other cities can also do it. So on 10th February 2021, Singapore announced its green plan. And there, very important, it is to create a green, livable and sustainable home for Singaporeans. But more important, it is actually helmed by 5 ministries, which means that interdisciplinary working together is actually very important. And I'm going to talk about these 5, list down the 5 ministries. Ministry of Education, Ministry of National Development, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Transport, which is a main infrastructure developer, and the Ministry of Sustainability and Environment. Now, one of the key pillars of the Singapore Green Plan is city in nature. What do we mean by it? So Singapore started off as a garden city. And then as we did a lot more greening, we then moved on to evolve into a city in a garden. And that means 50 years of greening. We have been intensifying tree planting, strengthening of connectivity of parks and greenery with the Park Connectors Network. And also built environment are common in cities, and therefore we have to integrate greenery there. But we realize that that's not enough. We need to have a closer affinity with nature. And that is why we came up with this transformation into a city in nature, which is a truly unique value proposition where it's not one against another, but people and nature must come together. And by integrating ecology into the urban landscape, create sustainable ecosystems so that nature and people can thrive together, but remembering that we have to provide immersive experiences with nature for, very important, improve health and well-being. And we cannot do it just by ourselves. We have to build communities of stewards. So what we have come up with a new paradigm, and that is restoring nature into a city for livability, sustainability, and well-being by applying nature-based solutions towards achieving climate resilience, ecological resilience, and social resilience. Now, how do we become a city in nature? The key strategies are conserve as much of your natural capital as possible and extend it. Next, intensify nature in your manicured gardens and parks. Then restore nature into the urban landscape, because 90% of cities are actually urban landscape. And very important to increase the effective area, we have to strengthen connectivity between our green spaces. Over and over again, we have to stress everyone has a role to play. And we have to leverage on advanced digitalization, science, technology, and industry. So, but if we do not measure quantitatively, how can we evaluate and monitor our biodiversity conservation efforts? So that is why we came up with this tool. And this is a partnership of the Secretary of the Convention on Biological Diversity in collaboration with the Global Partnership on Local and National Action for Biodiversity. And this is a self-assessment tool, very important. Therefore, it must be easy to apply, but scientifically credible and objective and fair. So all cities are not going to be, it will be fairly, evaluate themselves. So we had various workshops to work on it. So these are the indicators, and the indicators are divided into three components. The first one is native biodiversity in the city. The question is, do you have native biodiversity in the city? And we have shown that cities can have rich biodiversity. So if you have rich biodiversity, what they do provide ecosystem services. And if they provide good ecosystem services, how do you actually govern and manage them? And remember, we've always said quantitative. So each of the indicators have a score from 0 to 4 points. Now, this is a publication that the Secretary of the CBD published with MParks, and it was published last year. So please get hold of it and read it. It's a CBD technical series number 98. And this handbook shows you the rationale for selection of the indicator, how to calculate it, where to get data for calculations, and the rationale behind the scoring. So I don't have the time to run through all these indicators, but it gives you some idea that a proportion of natural areas is important. Connectivity is important, as I said before. Native biodiversity, change in number, meaning that try and, as Ingrid said, try and not only stop the biodiversity loss, but increase the biodiversity, restore your ecosystems. So that's it. And then make sure that the ecosystem services are, if you protect your biodiversity, you will be sure that the ecosystem services will improve. And we talk about very important health and well-being, accessibility to parks, and now very important urban agriculture, benefits of trees and greenery. Very important too is governance, and each of these show you the link between climate change and biodiversity loss, interagency collaborations, cross-sectorial, and the involvement of everybody, right from agencies, private, NGOs, academia, the people. And you have to involve education, awareness, community science. At the present moment, even though there are officially 39 governments that have applied the Singapore Index, there are many, many more. There are like 100 over cities that have used at least one or one or more of the indicators. And Japan actually has several cities doing it. So we hope to then increase the number. So thank you very much. And please, you can actually download the handbook via the CBD website. Ingrid, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I hope I didn't go over time.
No, you didn't. And thank you so much, Lena. It was always very, very interesting. If you can just stop sharing the screen.
Of course.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Our next speaker is going to be Mr. Maeda Masahiro. He is the section chief of the city promotion section from Hannan City, and he is going to speak to a very practical application. He's looking at the city's actions to create co-benefits of nature conservation and climate change mitigation actions by utilizing local assets or local resources which contribute to the well-being of the citizens in Hannan City. Over to you, Mr. Maeda Masahiro. Just want to make sure we...
I am Maeda from the City Promotion Division of Hannan City, Osaka Prefecture. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you today. I would like to introduce our city's initiative, the Hannan Co-Benefits Creation Project. Next slide, please. Can you see the screen? Next, please. First of all, do you know where Hannan City is located? Hannan City is the southernmost city in Osaka Prefecture. It is a small city with a population of about 52,000 and an area of 36.17 square kilometers. 60% of the city is forested, surrounded by Osaka Bay and the Izumi Mountains. The city is rich in nature with seas and mountains, countryside and rivers. While most of the coastal cities along the Osaka Bay were reclaimed and turned into vertical seawalls during the high economic growth period, Hannan has preserved its shallow and natural coastline from the past. On May 20th, 2022, our city was selected as the SDGs Future City and Municipal SDGs Model Project as a city that proposes outstanding initiatives to achieve the SDGs. The following is an overview of the projects proposed by the Cabinet Office. In carbon neutrality starts with tea and eelgrass. Hannan Co-Benefits Creation Project aims to create a self-sustaining virtuous cycle to revitalize the local economy centered on integrated efforts on carbon neutrality toward the realization of sustainable society. On the economic front, the project aims to revitalize the regional economy by utilizing regional resources and collaborating with various entities within the region with digital technologies, including efforts to pass on the excellent skills, spirit of manufacturing of our local industries and demonstration project utilizing the Team Expo 2025 program at the Osaka Kansai Expo. On the social front, the city is creating opportunities and mechanisms for individual citizens to exercise their knowledge and abilities by developing health promotion projects with health promotion menus centered on tea and by promoting settlement from outside the region. On the environmental front, the city is working to pass on its rich natural environment and create a sustainable community through carbon neutral initiatives, including a green carbon promotion project through the creation of tea plantations and a blue carbon promotion project through the restoration of eelgrass beds. We have also worked with Ito-En on the installation of vending machines to promote the SDGs and the Matcha project to explore the various possibilities of tea to prevent dementia and conduct effectiveness tests on the enhancement of attentiveness and judgment. In April last year, we launched the Living with Tea project and planted 130 tea saplings on the idle farmland in the city. With the participation of local citizens, we will continue to work to make use of the idle farmland in the city and to enhance the local community through green, carbon neutral, and citizen-oriented management of tea production. Since the United Nations Environment Programme's report named the carbon absorbed and stored in the marine environment by marine organisms, such as eelgrass, as blue carbon, it has been attracting attention as a new option for absorbing carbon from the ocean to counter global warming. This photo shows the children of the Hannan city cultivating eelgrass. In the spring, the children grow eelgrass in small pots. Summer, eelgrass branches are collected from the sea. Autumn, seeds are removed from the collected branches. And in winter, the seeds are placed in clay and made into dumplings, which are then thrown into the sea. These are activities to conserve eelgrass. Through this experience, the children learn by thinking for themselves how eelgrass affects marine organisms and the marine environment. It is valuable learning unique to Hannan, enabled by our proximity to the city, only 40 minutes, and the rich seas and the people supporting the environment. Next is the eelgrass habitat area in Hannan City. As shown in the slide, eelgrass grows sporadically in the coastal areas stretching 8 kilometers from east to west. In order to make a sustainable use of local resources, the city was registered as a local SDGs area by the Ministry of Environment in 2021 and joined the 30 by 30 Alliance for Biodiversity in 2022. In February of this year, the Japan Blue Economy Technology Research Association granted us the Blue Carbon Credit certification for the sea cradle restoration activity. We believe that these activities are the result of collaboration and cooperation amongst citizens, businesses, government, and are the result of various conservation activities. The photo shows a meeting to report on marine education. In 2019, we started an inquiry-based collaborative learning program on the theme of the environment and the ocean at the elementary schools in our city. The children nurture interest in the environment by interacting and learning from the ocean, and also develop an awareness as members of the community by working with local people. The program started with 3 elementary schools, but is scheduled to be implemented in all 8 elementary schools in the city from fiscal year 2023. In November 2018, the National Eelgrass Summit was held in our city. The Eelgrass Summit was an opportunity for us to further expand our activities and initiatives in our city. The G20 Osaka Summit Spouses Program, held in June 2019, is one such example. At the World Symposium on Environmental Issues, elementary school students from our city made a presentation on eelgrass restoration efforts in the Sea of Hannan. The city is actively engaged in activities in collaboration with NPOs as well as companies. One such activity is a collaboration we have with the 7-Eleven Memorial Foundation. In order to pass on the beauty of nature and the precious ecosystems to the next generation, we have been working together to preserve and protect the natural environment of forests, villages, countryside, and ocean. In order to preserve the natural environment of our cities, oceans, and rivers, we believe that we need to further reduce plastic waste and issued the Zero Plastic Declaration in May of 2019. In 2021, we have issued the Hannan City Zero Carbon City Declaration, believing that we need to do everything we can now to pass on a better environment to the future generations. To conclude, although our city's blue carbon efforts are still small, we hope to continue to work with local businesses, NPOs, citizens, and children to protect and develop Hannan's rich ocean environment going forward. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Masahiro. And without any further ado, I'm going to ask our next speaker. I just want to let the organizer, we have an echo. Okay. Our next speaker is the mayor of Prick Municipality, Mr. Surya Yekul, who's going to talk about flooding and nature-based solutions. I'm handing over to you, sir.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon for all participants. And I'm Surya from Prick Municipality, in Songkhla province, southern part of Thailand. First of all, I would like to thank you for the Japan government and Asian Working Group on Environmentally Sustainable City and IGES, and also Department of Environmental Quality promotion in Thailand to invite me to join this kind of important workshop today. And I would like to present my story in terms of the solution by nature based in Prick municipality. Prick municipality is a little bit small. Can I move my? I cannot move my presentation.
Just
Okay.
try. There you are. Moving now.
Yeah, coming up. Yeah. In this Prick municipality area is normally lowland and flat, 70% of the area, but just only only 30% that a little bit hilly and near the forest and watershed and community forest in the foothill. But anyway, we have many sources of water exits. Especially we have the big canal, Utapao Canal, as a principle of the river, and Prick Canal is the second most important river that flow through the community to support agricultural and farming, and including the water supply system of the local authority here also. In my area, just very small, only 4.8 square kilometers. We have totally population is 6,700 more or less. And most of them, 65% is working on the farm, the farmer. And 30% of them is mostly and also in the public service sector. Just only 5% of the people here working with the government or government worker. This is kind of a city profile that, and in Prick municipality, oh, I cannot move again.
It's sometimes there's a delay.
Yeah. Okay. In this area, is we have called that Utapao Basin in the central heart of Songkhla province. And we can see from the watershed up to down to the Songkhla Lake Basin. We have 112 kilometers long of the Utapao Canal. Covering area is 2,535 square kilometers. And in this area, we have 24 municipalities nearby the Utapao River. And Prick municipality is around here on near the watershed area. And we can see the boundary in the blue line here is Prick River or Prick Canal, and this is Utapao Canal in the west side. Every year we have a problem in terms of the flood, in terms of the rainwater, and even we have a water source exit, but every year, almost every year, we affected by it doesn't work. Okay. Almost every part of Prick municipality have flood almost every year. That's so why we have to think about the flood prevention and flood protection and flood solution. It's come up with the nature-based solution. In this area, actually, we have a farming area nearby the surrounding the city. It's a lot of damage in terms of the plantation farm area, which major economy of the city. and also the house of the people here also. We have a socio-economic impact, the flood almost every year, and we can calculate that at least 33 million baht damage from the flood. And all of this we have to prepare in terms of the aiding for the flood victim. We have to repair the road in terms of the infrastructure. And in this area, we use a lot of money for the flood resolution. The risk of the harm of both people and property, the tide destroy unsound structure here, and the current cost damage even animal, car, and also the people. The damage from the disaster destroy agricultural area, a rubber plantation, and people primary source of income is normally from the rubber plantation. Then they cannot go to work in the farm. They lost their income at that time. And also harm to the public health, for example, like a diarrhea and athlete feet, and also some of epidemic problem cause of poor hygiene in daily life of the people. This is our problem that we face almost every year when the flood come into my area. Not only flooding, in the other side of coin, we face the problem in terms of the drought when the dry season comes. We have no water for agricultural or paddy field or the rubber plantation field, and also some for consumption in the household. So that's why we try to use nature-based solution in order to solve the problem for our resilience in our area. For example, like we try to apply a nature-based solution to establish the we call monkey chick as a water retention system to store rainwater instead of the letting it flood, and reserve it as a raw water or capital water for the water supply system also. We increase the capacity of the shallow brick canal as a drain gateway during the rainy season, and to reduce the severity of the flooding problem and reserve water for the dry season also. This so-called monkey chick, because we have adopted from the King Rama IX philosophy I mentioned later on. In this kind of solution, we try to use a solar energy to operate the water tap system also. We have established water supply for our villager or our people in my city, but we have a problem with the water and the cost of electricity in the mainstream is very high, and then we try to use a solar energy to reduce the cost of the energy from the mainstream. Then we can also educate the citizen to realize the importance of energy efficiency use in their household, and also the renewable energy. We try to collect the water from Utapao and Brick Canal in order to make a capital of water for the waterworks system. We set up a watershed management group or watershed management network with the local government nearby in Sadao district or in Hat Yai district. We try to collaborate to each other in terms of to protection the watershed area in order to solve this kind of flooding problem also. At the same time, we try to create in terms of the resilient cities curriculum and disaster curriculum to the school. But anyway, in terms of nature-based solution, that so-called monkey shake, we have learned it from the term of coined by late King Phumipol or King Ramanai to promote the flood control measure at the long time ago. But in this case, the king noticed that when the monkey eats some food, normally they store, the monkey store in the both right and left cheek. And when they store their food in the cheek, and then they can chewing later on or either later on. As same as the water, if we can collect the water in terms of the water reservoir and some kind of water stock of water into store it, and at the same time we can letting it be and reserve it for the water supply system also. After we have done this kind of project, we can preserve the ecosystem and biodiversity balance. As a reason, people have succeeded into the access to wide range of natural resources and living capital, including fresh water and fishery. Abundant water resources all year, enough for agriculture, which is main occupation of the people in the area. Reduce economy loss as a reason of being able to solve the flood and drought problem. People have access to water in all year long, increasing agricultural product and income, and reduce the budget for flood and disaster relief. Especially the municipality have to spend a lot of money in terms of problem solving when the disaster occur in our area, and we have to pay for reconstruct in terms of infrastructure. This can lift our budget for developing in terms of environmental management and innovation and improving the quality of life of the people in the community. And also we can growing as a natural tourism attraction to increase opportunity for the future job creation and career development. If we see this kind of project is connected to the SDG, almost every target of SDG. For example, like SDG number 6 is the main point for our activity to done in order to preserve the water and collect the water for waterworks system and for agricultural, that people can have a water, fresh water, a clean water. And also SDG number 3, number 11, number 12, and also even number 1 to contradict with the poverty in our area, for example. This is kind of we call a nature-based solution to protect and to flood control. Thank you for your listening and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Sorry
Maya,
for the slide. It doesn't work well because it's a little bit problem when I click my slide. Then it shocked me. Cannot carry on my presentation also English. Thank you.
Not a problem there.
Thank you.
We have an echo problem again. Mayor, if I can just thank you so much and for sharing that great story with us. And I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, Kelly Day from in Italy, East Asia Secretariat. And she's going to talk to us about how to foster nature-based solutions for healthy transitions in Europe and China. Over to you, Kelly.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ingrid. Can you hear me clearly? Yeah, great.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, hi everyone. I'm Kelly from IGES, East Asia. And to speed up, I'm going to introduce to one of our ongoing project named Regrowing. And I really want to share you about the approach we are using for this program, about how we can achieve city collaborations among Europe and China. So to introduce, this project is a cooperation between several European cities and several Chinese cities. So we have cities from Denmark, Aarhus, and also from France, Paris region, and also one from Croatia, Velika, and also have Shanghai, Beijing, and Ningbo in China. And it's a collaboration among different stakeholders. So we have 20 different partners, like from academia, from city officials, and also organizations like us, like a city network. And the most important thing I'd like to introduce is the core regrowing elements we're using. We call it Urban Living Labs, ULLs. And that's the main concept we're using to say, okay, so we have 6 different cities here from different countries, from different continents. So I think for each city, they have some similarities, and also they are quite different, and they are facing different challenges. So like how nature-based solutions can tackle with. For example, you can see biodiversity enhancement is mostly like the issue and the topic for 6 cities, and also most cities also have problems like heat mitigations and also something about water management. So how does ULL specifically work? So ULL is said to be, as I mentioned earlier, like we have different stakeholders and different partners. So in this case, like people can get together to do the co-creation to tackle different issues. So to start to collecting existing knowledges and evidence, and we also have several tools developed, also exploring several business models and how to make it better. As well, we also have helped to raise awareness for cities and for participants. Yeah, so basically we have these different topics. So about the urban drivers and the pressures they are facing, and if we can provide any solutions to nature-based funds. And also we try to map out the key elements for the whole 6 cities. And also we are trying to evaluate the well-being and the benefits for each cities. We also cooperate with several schools and primary schools and universities to see if we can mainstream nature-based solutions in city to them. And also we did quite thorough analysis about how urban and cities can make them governance much better, and is there any business models they can collaborate further. So as we're going to wrap up the project pretty soon next year, and we already have quite a lot of achievements. So to say, you can say for each object, we also have already identified and quantified issues, and we provide several solutions, and also get a toolbox you can use, and also different business or governance models which we can call learning and sharing among cities and with a broader picture. Yeah, and I like to say like it's not the only one project among 4 EU-China collaboration. Also have several sister projects similar to this topic. And yeah, so I want to make a quick zoom. And thanks for your attention. And if you are interested in learning more about the project or similar practices, you can also check it out afterwards. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Kelly. That was really great. And thank you also for being so quick with your slides, which means we have about 2 or 3 minutes left for some questions. I don't see that there are any questions from the audience. So I've got a question and I would like to pose it to each of our speakers today. And you each have just under a minute to respond. My question is, what advice would you give to a city who wants to make the transition to nature-based solutions, nature-positive development, and a nature-positive economy? What is the one most important thing that they should do? Let's start with Lena.
Ingrid, you put me in a spot. You should have started from somebody else. Okay, never mind. It's a good idea actually to start from me, so I can say whatever I want, and then they have to think of something else. Great. Okay, thank you. So, I think the most important thing, actually more than one, Ingrid, I'm going to cheat. So, I think the important things that you need to do is, one, you need to conserve your whatever native biodiversity you have, because our economy, it's not just economy, our survival depends on biodiversity. So that's one. And two, you need to involve everybody, because everybody is a stakeholder. And previously you say, oh, it's just the government, and also no, it's all, you see. So that's very important. So number one, conserve. Number two, involve everybody. And thirdly, it's the whole world coming together, because biodiversity, no national boundaries.
Thanks,
Thank
Lena.
you.
Sorry,
Ingrid,
Mr.
I can't hear you.
Sorry, our next respondent, Mr. Masahiro from Henan City. Can you give us one thing to do, to advise?
This is Maida speaking. I don't really have advice, but the NBS is very important. And we are trying to make a difference in that way. And the children to learn about nature-based solutions and to make it and to have ownership is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next one up is our mayor.
Yes, I'm the third, right? Okay. The important thing that I may say that the first one is the appropriate technology for solution the problem that
Ingrid, we can't hear.
Climate change. Can you hear me?
I think, Lena, I switched my interpretation off and then you can hear the mayor.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, when we face with the problem, we normally looking for the high technology, but it takes very high cost also.
Yeah.
If we concern in terms of the local technology or appropriate technology, for example, like a monkey cheek, as I mentioned before, we did not invest so much to prevent in terms of the flooding in my area. It depends on the local context also. if we can use appropriate technology concern to the local context, I think it's quite important to solve the problem. And also the second one, people participation is quite important in terms of the to protect the watershed area and to reforestation for the new forest area in order to prevent the flood from the hill area. And the third, I think, is the climate change. Normally, if very, very far away from the local people in my area, then we have to build up in terms of the mindset for the people, for the villager, or for the citizen to know more how affected by the climate change. And then we can find a solution. So many solutions come up if we know how affected from the climate change clearly. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, so I'm going to ask forgiveness from my colleague, Kelly, to lead her off. I just want to say thank you so much to all of the speakers. This has been really amazing, some fantastic ideas. I just love how we learn from nature and use nature to respond to the challenges that face cities every day. And I'm looking forward to reaching that goal of protecting our nature by 2030. Thank you so much to all the speakers, and I will hand back now to the secretary, to the organizers.
Thank you very much, English, and thank you for all.
Thank you so much again. So, I think the time is coming up, but, from the Secretariat, I would like to somehow sum up the discussion today. So I just quickly summarize, what discussed today. So today we have lots of speakers from the regions, and also we witnessed that the steady progress of actions of ASEAN and other Asian cities towards sustainable development, especially such in the area of climate change or system development, especially in the area of climate change, waste management, of resilience, and city-to-city collaboration towards low carbon and zero carbon development has been contributing not only climate change mitigation, but also circular economy and SDGs. And then and we welcomed ongoing cities actions, and as well as SDG frontier cities and other initiatives support cities action to facilitate transition towards zero carbon society. That closely linked with the efforts to promote circular economy and nature positive economy. So for the thematic sessions, we see steady progress of solid waste management, including marine plastic debris issues in the regions, and then promotion 3Rs and the integrated solid management. And then the action to promote circular economy contribute to zero and low carbon goals of the cities. We see a lot of the example of the Tokyo Zero Emission Strategy, circular economy roadmap, several apply as a kind of policy development. And also we see some technologies and actions like refuse derived fuels, methane recovery, and then control from random fuel sites, waste to energy technology like that. And then the speakers is emphasized that areas need further actions like change of citizens' consciousness and behavior that is very prerequisite for the changing for the transitions, and involvement various stakeholders to make whole country campaigns. Also, the speaker said circular economy inevitable for the decarbonizations. For the thematic sessions on the nature positive economy, and then we recognize that nature is critical component for the urban system development, and then the recognition of importance ecosystem services. And then for the climate nature nexus, the natural resource and biodiversity important aspects in cities, in the region from the viewpoint of climate mitigation, adaptation, both, and also the SDGs. Ecosystem green carbon, blue carbon project Hannan City, and then Monkey Creek's implic cities, utilization of water retention system against floods, as a nature-based solutions, the examples has shown in the sessions. And then, how to measure the city diversity issues. And then Ms. Lena Chen's introduced Singapore Index on the cities on biodiversity. Also, in the last sessions, some important key words is raised up to speakers, like involvement of everybody, ownership, people's awareness, and also the appropriate technologies. So this is the summary of the session. So in nutshell, so the overall, so we see the passing multiple core benefits of net zero, circular, and nature positive economies essential for the urban economic development and sustainability. And then city-to-city collaborations and city networks contribute to the actions address climate change and strengthen synergies such as circular economy and nature conservation. So having said that, maybe the high-level seminar will encourage the linkage with other regions for the knowledge sharing to address urban sustainability challenges. So that is a very quick summary of the high-level seminar. And then as usual, so the secretary will circulate, the output documents of the high-level seminar to the all speakers and also the ASEAN member countries for your review, and then we finalize output documents. Also, this time, this high-level seminar is a part of the Zero Carbon City International Forum 2023. So the essential part of this output documents, the output documents will be included in the output document of the whole forum. So then that will be a kind of the input to the from the ASEAN countries to the international community for the Zero Carbon Society. So this is the end of my summary. Having said that, thank you very much for everybody participating in the forum for this in the part 2 of this forum as a high-level seminar on sustainable cities. Thank you very much for the ASEAN members countries and then the ASEAN cities and then all stakeholders involved in this part 2. Thank you very much. So see you again in somewhere in the around. Thank you.
Bye.
これにて
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you. Yep.
Hope to see you in Japan sometime.
Thank you so much, all speakers. Thank you so much.
Especially in the Sendai, because I'm looking for to adapt the Sendai framework in my area, and then I have to go to Sendai city.
Oh, really? Thank you very much for the mayor for your comments. Yeah, thank you. We will see you again, hopefully in Sendai. Thank you.
We would now like to bring part 2 to close for the high-level seminar on sustainable cities will be concluded. Those of you who can participate, please remain for part 3, which will start at 1800 or 6 o'clock in the evening Japan time. Thank you.